Alright, welcome back. This is Cult of Elections, again with a very similar video as yesterday's. Yes, except this time, instead of not Trumping on the Republican side, we have Trump. So, I like to give honest takes. So, I guess we could start out with some context. This was the 2020 map, except with 2024 delegates. So, Biden in 2020 actually got 306 electoral votes. And with the shifts in numbers based on population, the advantage would actually be in Trump's direction here. Oh my gosh. Now that's bothering me. I forgot to click characterize that. So, yeah, so the advantage would actually be Trump here. He would actually gain 3 just right off the bat, assuming no changes. But of course, 3 is not enough to reach 270. So, my prediction for Trump in 2024, I mean, we need to be brutally honest here. A lot of these states I've characterized as likely states. Like I said, some of these states, yeah, it changed from safe to likely based on my guesses and how they're going to shift. But yeah, I don't see it happening in this situation. I don't think a lot of minds are going to be changed. I think he brought out a lot of people the second time around, and it just didn't really work out for him too well. Let's go over the safe Republican seats. I think at this point it's probably everything that was safe for him before is probably gonna emphasis on probably. Sorry, I'm checking over some numbers here. Gonna be safe for him again. But of course we don't have all the answers there. And it very well could change. And yes, this being a safe Republican map, it's sorry, I believe oh wow. Okay, yeah. Looking back at it, it's kind of shocking, but yeah, this says a safe Republican map is kind of ugly. I'm just gonna keep it real. So I think, yeah, the states that were likely will probably remain Kansas, South Carolina, Alaska. That's pretty wild. Those move into the likely column. Yes. Sorry, I forgot about West Virginia. Of course, that's remaining safe, but those becoming likely states do not spell a good picture. So, yes. Let's move on. I mean, there's no reason to believe that Iowa and Ohio would change too much either. I think those will kind of stay about the same as they were before. But you can probably say the same about Colorado and New Mexico. Colorado was borderline safe in 2020. It's been having a hard shift. No reason to believe that won't be changing. New Mexico, kind of the similar thing. I think Virginia would shift back to the right slightly, but not enough to make it a lean state. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. At this point, you can kind of categorize New Hampshire to be that way anyways. Like I've said previously, it's a lot of state people want to be a swing state. It's just not turning out to be that way. Maine's second. Sorry, Maine's first is safe Democrat too. We're going to have to categorize that. But Maine at large, only likely, which may surprise people, but It's, how it was in 2020. I don't see a giant 6-point swing coming and swinging at Maine. It's just probably not going to happen. So, yes, this is a baseline map. Not very pretty. But I've kind of been ragging on Trump's chances of winning. Spoiler alert. But I do think one state that would shift more rightward is absolutely Florida. It's been swinging hard, and I don't think it's just the DeSantis, the Rubio effect. Trump also swung the state himself to the right. It's one of the few states that's shifted to the right in 2020 compared to 2016, and I believe that trend will continue. I think it would be a harder swing for other Republicans, but for him, not so much. I will go ahead and categorize the last 3 areas that Trump won in 2020. First being Maine's 2nd Congressional District. I think that would remain the same. They voted for him twice. He's just got some sort of appeal there. He just appeals to them. Something that other Republicans can't do. Stay in their House seat. North Carolina, kind of the same way we saw in the midterm. We saw in 2020. I can't see a major shift happening. It's been categorized as a swing state, so it's been getting a lot of the voters out. I don't think there's too much more that can come out to change this race, make it non-lean. And in 2020, Texas was a likely Republican state. Will it remain with Trump? I think it would swing slightly more to the left, not enough to make it shift back to the Democrats after a long time, but yeah, I think it would be categorized as a lean Republican state. So here we have it. We have a bunch of states that Trump lost in 2020. And one of the more obvious ones, I probably should have categorized this a long time ago, Minnesota. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Likely Democrat. Just right off the bat, there's no reason to believe he would win that. Michigan, probably the hardest swinger, and I put this in likely Democrat in just generic Republican, non-Trump, so there's no reason to believe he would push it further right. I think Michigan, back to the likely Democrat column. And then we have these beautiful states, which were the deciders in the 2022 midterms. So where do I begin? Probably the farthest chance of winning again, Pennsylvania. I mean, if we have like a non-Trumpy candidate like Dr. Oz, who can't do it here, against the Bernie Sanders type Democrat, it's just probably not going to happen. Could it? Maybe, but probably not. So, yes. And then we can go over to the 4th most, or it may not be the 4th closest, but we have Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia. They were the closest that Biden had barely won in 2020. And we're back to Nevada. I mean, there's not a reason to believe that he's gonna win it. I mean, Adam Laxalt couldn't do it in the Senate, of course. They did shift their governorship to Republican, which means Nevada is open for change. But I don't think Trump's the one to do it. I don't. And then we can probably just go ahead and characterize, yes, I think this is a win for the Democrats if Trump is the nominee. We're going to swing Georgia into the lean Democrat column. My reasoning for this is a Herschel Walker, a Trumpy kind of candidate. And this is before the runoff, so the results of the runoff could change this, but he lost by a tilt margin. Of course, it did go to a runoff. Nobody hit 50%, but if it was by plurality, then he would have lost by a tilt margin, which you might be thinking, oh, what? Why not categorize as tilt then? My reasoning for this is because there was a not giant black turnout in Georgia, not what it could have been, and I think in a presidential year, it would turn out a lot more. Herschel Walker lost the suburbs hard, like Trump did, and yeah, it's just not the right situation there. So after this, 281 hits a probably Biden victory. Same thing for the 2nd Congressional District here. They swung away from Trump. Not a lot of reason to believe that it would swing back. And then we have Wisconsin and Arizona. Wisconsin did vote for a Trumpy candidate in Ron Johnson, but that, in my opinion, was only because he was an incumbent. Wisconsin is hard purple in presidential years. I think that would be a tilt Democrat state in this situation. I think Trump will bring out a lot of his base to vote, but it would just barely come short. Just barely. And then we have Arizona. Arizona the crazy. The crazy close. And I can categorize that to be lean Democrat. Based on the results of the 2020 race, 2022, it's been a shifting. And that's not to say that Arizona can't elect a Republican. Because in my non-Trump prediction, I do have Republicans winning Arizona. And not only that, I have them winning the whole thing. If you want to check out that video, it's there for you. But to be brutally honest, I don't think Trump is the right guy. Now, my next video could be if Trump ran third party. I do have another old video about that, but if he loses the nomination, then it's a possibility that he does that. It would be horrible for Republicans, and he knows that. But I mean, yeah, this map isn't too pretty. It's just not. And it's a lot of hard math for Trump to win. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Until then, have a good one. And I'll see you next time. Peace.